Today, I have with me Chinna Okoroafor. She's a licensed psychotherapist and certified internal family systems therapist. She has a master's degree in social work and counseling psychology. She has served children and families for over 10 years, specializing in child development, child abuse therapy, person-centered therapy, solution-focused family therapy, resilience-informed therapy, trauma-informed therapy, crisis intervention and incident management training, and public speaking. So now she works with the Department of Defense and she writes articles about behavioral concerns, mental health, and social issues. Chinna has been married for 18 years and has 5 children of different age ranges, various age ranges. So yeah, you're welcome to the show. From the short bio, I know you're. We all know that you are very qualified, to speak on this issue of conscious parenting and how to bring out the best in our children. So we'll just go straight. Okay, sorry, I don't know if you have anything to add to the introduction.
You did well. I don't have anything else to add.
Okay, let's just cut through and go straight to what we came to discuss. So the first question I have to ask is what you think the role of parenting should be in this 21st century, and if you think it's any different from how parenting was done in the past.
Yes, this is a good question. So parents to be and new parents, we must first of all break free from all the shackles of collective programming, right? In other words, I mean detaching ourselves from how our parents parented us, which is our parents' parenting style, and our social environment. Because when we talk about parenting, it's not just solely on how you were parented by your parents. It's also what you see in your environment. Those actually do affect how we see our own kids.
Okay, so yeah, so what is the rule? Like, what are parents supposed to be doing in the lives of their children? I know this is a very broad question, but maybe you could just summarize the key things that.
So this is
what is the purpose of parenting, basically?
So this actually calls for what we are going to discuss today, which is embracing conscious parenting, which is a type of parenting style that parents will see our kids as individuals, not as our property or something that we acquired, stuff like that. You see your children as independent beings with unique attributes and unique dreams, and we want to help them achieve their dreams and their passions, which leads to life satisfaction.
Okay.
Yes, and job satisfaction.
Okay, yeah, we'll come back to that later about children having their own, or being unique beings with their own dreams and with their own nature, basically. Yeah, which is what we tend to forget in parenting. The nature of the child, the human nature that's distinct to them and unique to them. So from your experience, what do you think are the different parenting styles?
These are the parenting styles. We have 4 of them, and they're actually laid out. I have an article that I published on that. Authoritarian, which is do as I said, because I'm your parent, because I'm your mom, I'm your dad. You have to do what I said. I'm the adult. You have to do as I said. Even if what you're saying is going to cause this child harm, you want them to do it because you said so. And this is where parents, you want to punish a child who did not do exactly what you said. So in definition for this thing is their children are expected to follow the rules established by the parents, even as their parents fail to explain the reasoning. Parents here do not explain why they want their child to do this. They just want them to do it verbatim. Hey, this is what I said, and you have to do it. But there is a problem with this kind of parenting. It leads to kids who are obedient, yes, which is good. Obedient is wonderful, it's positive and proficient, but these kids are low in happiness and competence. This is where it becomes problematic. Then we have authoritative parents, which is where I fall into. These parents are demanding, yet we give children the resources and support they need to actualize their own dreams. Example, you have your child who wants to attend a certain college. Perhaps you want them to go to a different school, but because you have actively, of course, we are also going to talk about the skills that as parents we are required. So because you listen to your kids, you want them to tell you how they feel, what they want to do, which schools they want to go to, and what paths they want to choose in their lives. Like for instance, my kids, this is what we do. So usually we don't do. So we are conscious parents and our kids are conscious kids. They tell us they want to attend this so and so school, and what we do, every summer we take them to whatever school that they say that, when I start going to college, this is where I'm going to go to. This is conscious parenting. They research these schools. This is where they want to go to. You follow up with that. Okay, let's go check them out. Let's go ask questions and stuff like that. This is authoritative parenting. You are leading, you are guiding, you are still the parent, but you want them to make their own choices. Now, there is permissive parenting, which is also, you're able to listen to your kids, but really there is no boundary here. We also want to have boundaries, set rules, set boundaries. There is no boundary. Example of this would be, you are so loving, you want them to do whatever it is that they want to do. Example is they're pulling your hair and you just allow this kid to just pull your hair because, I love them so much, let them pull your hair until you die. Yeah, this is permissive parenting. And there is the other one, there is uninvolved parenting, which is a neglectful parent. They're not interested in your dreams. They're not interested in anything. All they know is that they're your parents. But there is a problem with this kind of parenting because it actually raises kids who are toxic in our environment. They don't know boundaries and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah. So, well, from the four of them, the authoritative, is the one that is the most effective.
I would say that is the most effective and that is the best. But usually in Nigeria, they have mostly authoritarian parents.
Oh yeah, definitely. Across the world, and across the world too. Nobody's actually trained, in being a parent. So whatever skills or mindset that we grew up with is what we transfer to our children. So the core of what we're even discussing today is conscious parenting, which means that the parent needs to be conscious or must be conscious. So what are the attributes of a conscious parent? Who is a conscious parent? What behaviors do they exhibit? What skills do they need to have to be a conscious parent?
You have to first and foremost have active listening skills. You want to be able to listen to your kids, right? I would say that's number one. Then you have to have the ability to guide and support.
Okay.
Yeah, guide. Lead by example, period. Also, you have to have trust. These are because we have to have confidence in these kids, in their abilities to do what they say they can do. So trust. And Discipline, not punishment. We have to be able to know what discipline is. We have to differentiate between discipline and punishment. Most Nigerian parents punish instead of discipline.
Okay.
And the most important in all this is your child. We want to look at our child's needs, not what we need or what we want. We want to be able to look at what they need.
Okay, so the needs of the children, right? Well, for each of these ones, I mean, we can do a complete discussion on each of them. So I think I'll just pick out one of them. One has.
Yeah, one moment. Do not forget to be open-minded and flexible.
Okay. And flexibility.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, these are very, very broad topics too on their own. That have to do with that has to do with, yeah. I think in almost everything here, there's an underlying theme, of like self-awareness, basically.
Yes.
Because if you're not self-aware, you're not going to be able to be flexible. You may not be open-minded. You may not be open to receiving new wisdom from your children. And the active listening too is also part of being conscious of who you are and knowing that there's a difference between you and your child. So I just want to harp on the needs of the children. How do we go about understanding the needs of the children? And now, for me, this topic is personal for me because I have a 1.5-year-old she's 18 months now, and I think by the psychosocial development cycle, she has completed the first stage of 0 to 18 months. Yeah. Then the next phase, I'm talking according to I don't know if you're familiar with Erickson's model.
Oh,
yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I think most people should be. And if you're listening and you're not, you could go and check out Erickson's model of psychosocial development of children. So
yeah, you should also look at Piaget.
Piaget.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. I've not read that one's work, but I just reading Erickson's, and it's really fascinating, just to see what kind of work that they've done, and understanding how the age between 0 to 18 months is when you build trust with the children, with the child. All they need at that time is you to give them food when they need the food, warmth, shelter, etc. Love. That's basically what they need. Then from 18 months is when they start getting independent and moving around. But there's something that struck me there, is that is when self-doubt can be instilled in a child. If you don't treat them properly between that age of 18 months and I think 3 years or something. And even from 3 to 5 too. That's when they learn to build confidence in themselves because they are trying to do things on their own.
Exactly.
I can see my little daughter, like she wants to do things. She doesn't want anybody to feed her. She doesn't want, she wants to take the food with her hand and eat it.
She don't want you to put her clothes on for her.
Yeah, she's trying to put on her shoes by herself. So it's really fascinating just to observe it. That this is the point where, like, if you do everything for them or if you shout at them for not doing, they start getting that self-doubt, and self-doubt is something that adults are dealing with.
Yes.
And we don't know where it came from. Of course, we're not going to totally eliminate it, but it can be reduced to an extent that the child knows, like, is confident in themselves. So what other things do parents need to do to understand the needs of their children The only thing I think I'm doing now is observation. So I don't know if you can expand on it a bit.
Observation is super. Also, like you said, between 18 and 3 years old, or we can extend it to 5. This is the stage where we allow them to be independent, really. They're beginning to walk, right? We did not teach them how to walk. So we should allow these kids have that independence to be able to do what they want. Now, if they're falling into danger, of course, as parents, that's when you get in and help out and support. And that's where that little positive attachment comes in. But we really want to allow them flow. We want to allow them breathe. And they love that. And this is also why we have a lot of adults who are really, really very, very attached, very, very dependent as adults.
Yeah.
They have really serious attachment problems. It stems from how they were raised. We want to allow kids, I say, they have perfectly shaped head, which means they come with their own head and their own brain. We should allow them use it. Kids are smart.
Yeah, go on, sorry.
Yeah, kids are smart. So we should allow them explore. Really, within this stage, it requires exploration and we should allow them do it.
Yeah.
Explore their environment.
Yeah, that independence, yeah, that's where I feel, this is the point I feel where parents start to break their children. When they feel that the children are not behaving in a way that that the parent expects them to behave. This is the point where they start, in quotes, teaching them how to behave. And it's an innocent act. It's not like they're doing it intentionally.
Yeah.
But that's how they know. That's how they know how to do things. Mm-hmm. So and to be honest, it's not easy dealing with a toddler because they succeed in triggering you. Well, they do trigger me and my wife. She does. So they do things that get on our nerves, basically. And for me, it's just it's a chance. It's a chance for me, to practice my own self-control and to understand that the anger is not coming because of the child. Yeah, so it's more of an inward lesson for me to even ask myself, why are you? Because this is how I put it. This is an innocent child that lives in the moment, and that was something that we talked about, the other day. The tension that we face with them is because they live in the moment.
Yeah.
Like they live in the present moment. They don't have any whatever of the past. They don't have any memories of the past. They don't live in the past, and they don't live in the future because they're not thinking about anything in the future. Mm-hmm. So anything that they're doing is just what they need to do then, at that time. And that's why it's easy for them to forgive. Like they don't even know that you did anything wrong to them. Yeah. And we just move on like that. But us, in contradiction, adults, spend most of their time thinking about the future, worrying about different things, and also thinking about the past and worrying about the past. So that's where there's tension between us and them. But if we can learn to just stay in the moment with them, we will see that there's really no friction.
Yeah. And this is really where conscious parenting comes in. And you know what? Being a conscious parent makes parenting easy. It makes parenting easy because you're looking at your children. These kids, they teach us how to be self-aware. They teach us patience. They teach us forgiveness. And voila, we come up with kids who are also self-aware and self-conscious.
Yeah, I'm a big believer that they are here to even teach us more than we are here to teach them. I
Exactly.
was reading a book, or I'm still reading a book on what's the book called again? Yeah, the book is called Blueprint. It's a genetics kind of book, but it's teaching about human nature. But that's one side of the story. What the author is saying, the author is Robert Plumbing. Um, he's a behavioral genetics and geneticist and psychologist. So what he's trying to, his argument basically is that human beings come with a blueprint in their DNA
Of course.
that that shapes who they are, how they behave, and and how they do so many things. There's some parts of it I don't really agree with. I don't really agree with, but he's more on the extreme side of not determinism, but but our genes influence a lot more than we actually know. So everybody's already programmed in a way, before they even came.
Yeah.
Which is also what spiritual people also talk about. People coming with their own unique nature, their own, and you also mentioned it before. So another friction that we're facing is that by trying to mold your children into whatever dream that you have for them, you're bending that their human nature,
Yeah.
and they will never be
Let me add
comfortable with
this.
it.
Let me add this. I think it's, it is narcissistic for us to try to fix or mold children. Because first of all, we need to fix ourselves. You cannot mold another individual when you need to fix yourself before you start fixing children. So you're not going to really tell them exactly what to be or who to be. You want to be something first before, then you suggest, then you guide, then you support. We cannot mold children. They are not, they're not clear. You're not going to mold them, period. I don't know what else to add here. We cannot mold human beings.
Yeah, but that's why parents even till today are still in friction, even with their adult children.
Yeah.
They still feel disappointed in them and all that kind of things. Not knowing that you've been causing the friction right from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
If we had allowed them to be their authentic selves, basically, which is my message, authenticity. If we had done that from the beginning, then they may or may not have been that popular. Nobody knows for real, but you have had some experience with 5 kids. Well, I also have experience with my siblings too, and I know that we all grew up in the same environment, the same home, the same everything. We're given the same thing, but we all turned out completely different, and the way we think is different. The way we approach life is completely different. We're all doing different things, and that just shows that each person is different, even from the same parents, the same household, the same, even, I mean, the same age range, even if, yeah.
Everything is different. We remember we also have different learning skills.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are, you come from different parents, but you have different learning skills, because remember, you have two parents who didn't know each other, right? So you come in, you have that mixture. They have to think differently. They have to learn differently. They have to do things differently. You don't expect them to mash like that.
Yeah, there was another problem. I didn't discuss this with you, but it just came to mind now. And then, how do parents treat their children? Because some parents might want to treat children equally. And if you know that one has a different skill, let's say one is good in mathematics or whatever, and the other one doesn't want to, or or the other one is not so keen on school learning, and maybe they have a flair for art and music and something else. Like, how do we make sure each person's needs are met so that there's no frictions? Because I know most parents try to make everything normalized, like, how do I put it? So even if one is more intelligent, let's say in school, than the other ones. That's where there's a problem there. It will look like favoritism or whatever, but I don't know how to explain it.
No, they're really, we shouldn't have favorites.
Okay.
Period. They're all your children. You should not have favorites. So here I'm thinking you're talking about looking at their weaknesses and strengths.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at.
Yeah. So for instance, you said math, and of course I told you about my daughter, who loves math like crazy. Since they're still kids and they're in school, you don't want to put them out of school because, of course, they have to graduate, right? Especially when they're not in the university. Let me use it. I was going to say college, but sometimes they mistake college for being secondary school. So you want to help them with their weaknesses. If they have weakness in art, but art is still required for them to graduate, that's where you help. Then allow them be in charge in their areas of strength.
Okay.
Yeah, we all have strengths and weaknesses. Each kid will have their strengths and weaknesses. Some of them will actually excel in academics, but there are other areas where they have weaknesses. Maybe social skills. Yeah, so that's where we as parents, that's where we come in and help in those areas for equity.
Yeah, that's amazing. So we'll go back to something you mentioned before. And there's an article I made a video and you wrote a strikingly similar article. That was last year, and I hadn't seen what you wrote. That's even why we're here. So the problem, of parents trying to direct their children to a perceived outcome, because we don't even know if they're going to do well in the place that we're trying to move them into. Yeah. What is it wrong for us? Okay, there's the one I know that is wrong. Ultimately, that's very, very wrong. Is the one of is the belief that some people have, that their children are here to continue, where they are going to live off.
Be extension of them.
Yeah, be an extension of them. And it's a belief, it's a cultural kind of mindset for some people. What do you have to say about that? Because I feel it's very destructive.
What I feel about that, we cannot be extension of our parents. We are individuals. We are human beings that came here. Yeah, they gave birth to us. We have their DNAs and stuff like that. But we're actually here to also fulfill our own dreams, not to fulfill theirs. That's why in that article that you are referencing, I said, parents, fulfill your dreams or be about to fulfilling it before you become a parent, so that you will not have to decide or impose something on your child. Especially in your areas of failure, you want them to continue and be that which you were unable to.
Yeah, we put a lot of pressure, and put a lot of pressure on the children unconsciously.
Yeah, and it can actually break them.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, it can actually break them and make them not be fulfilled in life. But of course, those parents will feel fulfilled because these kids have actualized their parents' dreams. They are now happy, but the kids are not.
Yeah, of course. There are a lot of people that are doing some kind of work, and they could be successful, on the outside, but inside of them, they will feel very dead and not alive at all, because they're not doing what they're supposed to do with their lives, and that's what brings regret at the end of somebody's life.
Especially
when you don't do, So there's a lot of ways that these things happen. A lot of pressure on, not just boys, girls, girls being forced to do some kind of. It's just that issue of control is something I've been writing about for, for quite a long time now. Trying to control things when it's not possible to control it. And like you said, it breaks the children. And the reason why it breaks them, to me, I mean, there's a simple analogy, because you're carrying your load and putting it on somebody that has their own load, which adds baggage, to somebody else. And that pressure, that baggage, that extra load that they don't need to carry in this life, is what breaks people. And that's why there are lots of people, there are a lot of adults trying to recover from their childhood.
Yes.
And what we are trying to do, with this information, is to reduce the number of adults that will be trying to recover from their childhood. And there's something you mentioned, I remember now. You mentioned something about us not even being able to, like, us having to do change within ourselves first.
Yeah.
And I know, from personal experience, that even to change myself, to mold myself into what I want to be, is difficult. So
exactly.
it's going to be impossible.
Yes.
To mold another person. I've been trying to mold myself into something for some years now, and I know how hard it is.
It is difficult
to rewire my thinking, to do other things. It's not a day's job. You know what I'm saying? It takes So I'm still in the process of doing it. So for me to think, that I can mold another human being, it's just madness.
It's not possible, and it creates tension. It creates tension between, the parent-child relationship.
Okay, so we need to trust that these kids, these children, have come with a natural talent that they have. Not that they just came as which most people see them as blank slate. This person has come, doesn't know anything, so let me start teaching them something. That is the general perception.
Yeah.
Not knowing that they already have their own innate skills and things that they like doing and they don't like doing. Absolutely. I've noticed already that the little one, when she goes outside, she's not very comfortable. But when she comes inside the house, she's a lion. Doesn't allow and she's not happy. But once you take her outside to somebody else's house or whatever, she's never comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So, and there are other kids that come and they are comfortable outside. So everybody comes with their own different, and she takes time, to trust somebody.
Which is good too.
It takes her a long time to trust anybody.
Outsiders, right?
Most especially outsiders, but even people that have been visiting, that she should already know. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It still takes her time to do that.
It's okay, because what will happen is when she gets into adulthood, you know what, you really don't want to trust easily, really. You want to learn people, you want to be able to assess them. So I will say that she likes to assess people before she can open up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
And there is nothing wrong with that.
No, I wasn't planning to change it. I'm just observing,
No, it's a good attribute.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. So yeah, I don't know if you can just give us some of the, how will I put it? How did you come to find out the strengths of your kids? So,
of course, it starts from when they're infants. Like I told you about play therapy. You want to watch them. You're watching them, you watch what they like and what they play with and stuff like that. That's when through observation, you start to see what they like and stuff. Then when they start reading, that they like to do during play time, you want to see if they like to sort stuff, or if they like their ABCs, or if they like to count 1, 2, 3, 4. If they like addition and subtraction, and and or if they like reading. You know, you will have kids who love to read, and you have, so I have 5, and they're all different. My oldest, when she was an infant, I noticed that she loved math because she liked to sort. She's always putting those blocks together, pushing them down, counting them, sorting 5, sorting 6 over here, and you know, stuff like that. I noticed that she liked blocks, and I started to invest. And it's really, I said investment like I spent dollar. Buying those things, those mathematical things that seems to be what she loves to play with, you know, and stuff like that. So that's how I noticed that she loved math, and now she excels in, like I told you yesterday, she's finished all her college, university mathematics, but she's still in secondary school. Yeah. So my second daughter, she's good at math. That one is jack of all trades. She loves everything, but she's into skincare, right? And we are not going to tell her what to do, but all we're going to do is continue to guide and ask questions. Do you still want to be this? Do you still want to do this? It's left for her to say, oh. Then I told you about my son. He's been all about brain ever since he was little. I don't know, you know, brain fascinates him. And he also loves math. He loves sciences. He excels in everything academically. He's always on top, but he loves those kind of things. Then, this my second daughter, she's a leader. She's always a leader. From home, when she was little, we knew that she had this control kind of thing. Now, not control, but she just loves to lead. So whenever something comes up in school and she says, oh, Mom, I want to do this. Oh, yeah, go ahead. And she will get it. She's always running for president. So we noticed that she has these leadership qualities. That's how to, you know, when they're little, you start observing, and you will see their strengths and their weaknesses, period. You will have those ones that love to read. They will read everything. They will read before they eat breakfast. They will read before they go to bed. They will read for fun. They don't even want to watch TV. They will just read, and read. That is my fourth child that says that she's going to be a lawyer. I hope she becomes a lawyer. So yeah. It starts from the, you know, that tender age, and you nurture that, you help that, you provide those resources for them to continue to do whatever it is that where you find the weaknesses. Then you guide and help in the other areas where they are lacking.
Yeah, that takes me to something. The kind of society we live in and the culture, you know, really has an impact on, you know, yes, on how we view children.
Yes.
Yeah, in the past, I would assume that, you know, that parents that had children, you know, believe there was a general belief, you know, that your children are meant to take care of you when you're old and not able to go to farm again. But times are changing. You know, people are not going to farm any longer. Farm has been replaced with work. Yeah. Basically, the 21st century work that we're doing, the corporate work and whatever kind of business you do. So yes, we still need we still need that companionship when we're older, but it's no longer the same way as it was before. Yeah. So that's how I put expectation. Those expectations was what drove parents basically, you know, to push their children towards careers that could make money or that will make more money than other careers or whatever. Then there's also something we discussed yesterday about parents being in competition with each other, with their peers or whatever. Look at what this person's children are doing, you know, always comparing. You know. And they even tell it to their children sometimes. You know, can't you see this person's child doing this and whatever? You know. I feel those things are really harmful for a child's mental development. What do you have to say about it?
Of course, it's called all these things. You know, this is culture. Culture plays a role in how we do things, how we see things, how we in everything that we do in life. You know, culture plays a role. But like you said, we have to also realize that time has changed. things are no longer the way they used to be, right? Even if you live in some remote area in Nigeria, you have access to the internet. So you just don't want to limit your children into doing something a particular way. You don't want to fixate it on some kind of thing. You want your kids to flow, because you know what, we live in a fluid society right now. It's a globalization, So yeah, culture is a good thing, and it can also be harmful. Yeah, your social environment has advantages, and of course, everything that have advantage have disadvantage. So those are the things that we have to look into. And for 21st century adults, we don't want to go back to how what our parents did, because there's something that I put down a note. You don't want to do stuff because it worked when your parents did it, because your parents, it was in the past. Right now, you want to do things that work right now, not because it worked when your parents did it. And have you also realized that let me just say this, individuals who say that, when, my parents, for instance, oh, my parents punished me, they whooped me, they did this, they did that, and I turned out all right. No, have you noticed that hello? Yeah, they don't turn out all right. These are the people that you see, they're very, very toxic in their work environment. They are toxic at home. They are abusive. They abuse their spouses, they abuse their kids. But they will tell you that they turned out well because their parents disciplined them, punished them, not discipline, really, because there's a difference.
Yeah, of course. People normalize abuse now, so they don't even believe that it was part of child abuse. To them, it's normal.
And it's cultural.
Yeah, and it's something that they'll probably use on their own kids.
Yeah.
And they feel it's normal, but we all know it's toxic.
It is.
Yeah, so people say, see me, I turned out all right. But it could just be a lack of introspection, like you said. That's why we're trying to introduce this conscious parenting. I'm sure that's why you're doing therapy. So many people don't even want to attempt going for therapy. Even when they know that there's an obvious problem, it's still taboo somehow in some places. You going for therapy means that that you're mentally ill. That's what some people believe. And
not true.
I've had a lot of informal talks, with different therapists and all that. I haven't actually paid to go, but I know I'm going to pay to go one of these days. Everybody needs it. Everybody needs to just discuss things, because we all have blind spots that we don't see. We have toxic parts of us that we don't even know they're toxic, and we're just unconsciously carrying it on. We have toxic behavior that are already ingrained in us that we don't know. Yeah, you're about to say something.
Yeah, I was about to say something. So what I was going to say is, just like in relationship counseling or marriage counseling, remember that not one size doesn't fit all, period, right? And we are individual with different people. So this is why I really do not support when you see a lot of people, they're going for marriage counseling to make their marriage work. I want for people to look deeper, root cause of why there is problem. Is there an emotional problem? Is there a mental health problem, psychological problem? I like to focus on fixing those first before we start the actual, we are coaching for parenting, we are coaching for relationship. You want to make sure that you're emotionally sound, right? And mentally fit before we can parent.
Yeah.
You want to be emotionally fit, physically fit, mentally fit before you can parent. And of course, financially fit a little bit. You don't have to have a lot of money, but you have to be ready. You cannot jump into having family and getting into relationship without all those things being in place.
Okay, yeah, we'll be rounding up soon. So I have one question I want to ask you. do you think is how important do you think it is for intending parents, let's say people that want to have kids, how important do you think it is for them to go for like coach training or coaching, or at least to have an idea of what they should do?
It is very, very important, because remember, we were not born with manual. We did not come out with manual on how to parent. So it's important that we, that you attend those, except if you, there are some self-help books that people can read and stuff like that. Yeah. But you really, but it's very, very important to attend one of these sessions to, to be able to learn. Yeah, reading is okay, but attending those classes helps a lot, because it's hands-on, and you're seeing the counselor or the therapist face to face, and you are asking questions, and they're, that interaction helps. And it also helps you know that if you're ready or not.
Okay, there's one important aspect I think we missed out in a way, and even yesterday we missed out. Okay. And it has to do with how we talk to our children. What's the best way of, I don't know, okay, let me, because I want to talk about infants, let's say from 0 to 5 years, how do you speak to them? What kind of, I'm assuming you already have a bias. I'm assuming that if you use some kind of negative, whatever, you're stupid, those kind of things.
Something like, maybe, of course, kids can drive you nuts, right? So something, if it slips off your mouth, it is important that you apologize, period. I'm not going to tell you that those things are not going to come out. You can call them stupid because they did stupid stuff. Even though they're not stupid, but you can be triggered to call them stupid. But make sure you apologize instantly. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. You are not stupid. It's just that you did some stupid thing. So, like our kids, we talk to them like adults. We have dialogue. You want to sit them down and talk to them. Don't just throw words. Talk to them like human beings. Talk to them, like you talk to your friends. And now they're not your friends, but just talk to them like you would talk to a normal human being, because they're complete. Have a dialogue. Ask them questions. Let them ask you questions. Respond honestly.
Oh yeah, that's another big man. This is a really big topic too, that we can't finish today. Yeah. It's just reminded me of something now.
It's really problematic when parents do not open up to their kids and talk to them and allow conversation to flow. And this is when those kids start hiding stuff. You want to be, have open communication. It helps a lot. Talk about everything.
Yeah, you just mentioned something now, which is another reason why we try to force children to behave in a particular way, which is respect. Yeah, you just mentioned something about, because you said that we have to talk to children as if they are our mates or something. So that just reminded me, of respect, mutual respect, and what parents, try to instill fear in the children so that they are afraid of them, and they take that fear as respect. There's a thin line, between respect, fear, and and whatever the parents are fearing that the children will not
respect them.
Yeah, something like that. They might be but I think it's a misapplication of the term respect. I don't think respect should involve fear as such. What do you think?
No, respect is not fear. Respect is just that, respect. And respect is reciprocal. You respect a child, the child respects you back. All right? We respect people the same way you respect others. You don't go out there throwing abusive words and you expect them to respect you because you are an adult. No, respect them, talk to them nicely. They will be nice too. That's also part of the advantages of authoritative parenting.
Yeah.
And it comes with respect, whereas the authoritarian parenting, makes the child to obey you, just obey you. But authoritative parenting allows the child to respect you because the opinions count and you respect them, they respect you back. Period. For instance, you are a druggie, let's say that. You use drug in front of your kids. Are they supposed to respect that you use drug in front of them? We're supposed to lead by example, right? If an adult is doing some stupid thing, have you earned respect? Those are the kind of stuff that parents should look into when they're trying to demand all these things. You don't demand respect, you earn it.
So basically, role modeling, right?
Yes, role modeling, lead by example.
Yeah, we've touched on a lot of things today.
Hopefully we'll have time to, break them down and just dive deeper.
Yeah, definitely. We can be doing, I mean, this can just be the first part of the series that we do on this, because there are a lot of things that we didn't even go.
And then we'll get prepared.
There's discipline, discipline and punishment, can be a full discussion. I mean, there are so many things that we mentioned here that we might need to delve deeper into later. So I just want to thank you for agreeing to participate in the interview. I'm really happy you decided to show up for me. And yeah, how can our viewers reach you if they want to?
So I have my website is still under construction, but I'm on Facebook. They can reach me via Facebook, Chinna Okoroafor.
Okay, yeah, I'll just post your Facebook page or link.
That works for now.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so that's beautiful. I wish you all the best.
Thank you for having me. And
yeah, I hope to have you some other time. So I'll end the video now.
Okay. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye-bye.